Good afternoon and welcome to the IHSA Class 5 football semifinals from Lombard. It's the number 1 seed, the Geneseo Maple Leafs, undefeated on the season at 12-0. The Green Machine visiting the Montini Broncos, who are the 6th seed, coming in a record at 9-3. With Zach Mackey and Bob Pettit, I'm Lauren Lemke. Kickoff is coming right up here. And gentlemen, we've got a game today between two teams that were in the state finals last year, Montini in 5A, Geneseo in 4A, and we expect to have a tight football game today. Bob?
Neither team stranger to this position. Geneseo's been here 16 times. Montini has been here 6 years in a row, and they've won the last 5, so this is not going to be a shock to anybody's system here. As you mentioned, both teams in the state championship. Montini a winner, and Geneseo a tight loser.
Absolutely. These two teams are teams that know what it's like to be on the big stage, and this is one of the biggest stages in the state right now. This is a huge game that lots of people are looking to. A team with, both teams with so much history dating back, and kickoff is almost here.
Joey Medina standing back at around the 5, along with Devin Haxby for Geneseo. Mason Weissenhofer sends it in to the end zone and beyond. 43 degrees at game time, overcast skies, and we've got a southwest wind at 10 to 15.
You see it right there, a huge kick from Weissenhofer. That's why he's got the offer from Northwestern as a kicker. That's a huge asset that Montini has and can use easily.
The wind is going to be a factor. That he had the wind at his back, and it went clean out of the end zone. I was watching some passes and some punts into the wind at the pregame, and they're not going very far against the wind.
Geneseo comes up, first down and 10. We'll get the starters after this game. Geneseo averaging 33 points scoring. Montini giving up 18. Sweet play, Joey Medina outside the numbers, down to the 25. He has a first down run for Geneseo out to about the 32-yard line. Joey Medina, Lane Acree, and Ryan Pitcher, the senior backfield.
That's how you answer early right there. First down, over 10 yards, first play. Joey Medina on the left side. Fantastic job at getting around the outside, and give credit to his blockers ahead of him.
Montini probably looking for something up the middle. Fell prey to the wide spot.
Medina comes in with over 900 yards rushing. Lane Acree at fullback with 750 yards on the ground. Ryan Pitra over 1,100 yards and 15 touchdowns. Lane Acree, fullback, hit at the line of scrimmage. Gets out to the 33. It's a short run of 1, setting up a second down and 9.
We sit above the visitors' press box here, and the crowd mic is probably going to pick up quite a cheering section from Montini. Geneseo has a great following here. They are lining they filled all the seats, including the end zone, lining the fence line. So great crowd here.
Yeah, you talked about it. They travel well. This is one of the best games we've seen them travel. There is not a place to sit on the Geneseo side. It is full.
4-down lineman for Montini. Ryan Pitra, his first carry. Out to the 35-yard line. 3rd down and 7 for Geneseo.
This is going to be a big 3rd down play. It's going to tell both sides what's going to happen early here. Montini bringing in a couple extra linebackers, it looks like.
Greg Rusk at quarterback, he's a senior, has thrown for 10 touchdowns this year.
Montini knows that this is a running Geneseo team. They've talked about it in the media this week. They've said that their key is to stop this run. A lot of people have been questioning, can they stop the run time after time again? On the flip side, it's been questioning, can Geneseo stop the pass?
Drew Himmelman, 6'5" tight end, lines up to the left. Counter play to Pitra, and he's stuffed and pushed back at the 37-yard line, and Geneseo will have to punt. The Green Machine pick up an initial first down, but Montini stops them on 3 plays there.
And they're going to have to kick into the wind, and that ball is going to have to, they're going to have to get some coverage on that because it'll probably bite wherever it lands and backspin. So a big kick coming here for the Leafs.
Greg Rust to punt. He's averaging almost 32 yards per punt. And back for Montini is Leon Thornton. He's an all-state player heading to Indiana next year. Punt into the wind, going towards the Geneseo sideline, and hits out of bounds at the Montini, should be around the 37.5 yard line.
That ball did get forward spin, but unfortunately it was out of bounds when that happened. And the Leafs going to have to get their defense up here at the 38-yard line.
This defense has gotten so much credit, and now these big guys up front, they're going to have a big task at some big offensive alignment. It's all going to be about these DBs. Can they stop this pass?
2 wideouts for Montini, and then they spread another.
We'll see that spread offense all day. Their quarterback is a senior, Charles Norgal. Resetting his receivers to the right side.
Now it's trips. Geneseo's trying to get into a different formation with this trips play.
Out of the gun, Norgal going deep down this sideline, and Thornton makes the catch, but he's well out of bounds. And coverage by number 8, Will Daniels, who leads this team with 5 interceptions. Will
Daniels was a young guy in the beginning, just a junior who didn't have a lot of varsity experience, but he has really stepped into this DB role, and that's where they got him on one of the best right now in the state.
That ball was well thrown, just a little bit out of bounds, and Will Daniels had it covered well.
This is a huge set of downs to make a statement early.
On 2nd and 10, Norgal quick out. His pass is complete to Patrick Maloney. Maloney driven out of bounds on the Geneseo sideline. Stopped at the 41, a gain of 3.
Last week we talked about the third down plays. How many times that third down came into play. Right here, a big third down play to set the mode early.
Cooper Humphreys on that stop, and the sophomore Jordan Jackson over there also.
Norgal is completing 64% of his passes. Meanwhile, the Geneseo defense has allowed quarterbacks under 50% completions this season. Another 3rd and 7. Geneseo could not convert on there a moment ago. Let's see if Geneseo defense can get the Broncos off the field. Out of the pocket, stepping up, throwing. Pass is caught by Thornton at the Geneseo 46. It's a Bronco first down.
Well thrown ball. Will Daniels on the cover. Nice catch and first down.
And this
for the Broncos.
And this is a different defense you see for the Leafs. They've taken a linebacker out and they put in a DB in. Now they take that DB out and put another linebacker in. It's all about switching up how many guys are in the box, how many the Leafs want to send.
Grant Pritchard starts at nose guard for Geneseo. He's a senior, 2 sacks last week, and a safety. Drew Himmelman at a defensive tackle position, and Lane Akery, both seniors. The linebackers Ryan Pitra, Jacob Beef, and Justin Scott. 1st and 10 from the Geneseo 46. With 8:44 to play in the first quarter, we're scoreless. First running play for the Broncos. They get it to the Geneseo 43 as they hand it off to Prince Walker, a sophomore who's got 15 touchdowns this year.
Grant Pritchard, Drew Hillman on the tackle in that middle of the line. Little 3-yard gain. Broncos trying to drive the ball.
We got the music going here. Not sure why, but 2nd down and 7.
I think it's so the Bronco mascot can dance.
There you go.
2 receivers right, 1 to the left, with 2 running backs in the backfield by Norgal. They'll run it again. Walker's hit low, gets to the Geneseo 40-yard line as Ryan Pitra comes up to make the stop. And the book on this offense for the Broncos is they're a little more pass than run, and if Geneseo thinks that they can slow down the passing game, they certainly can take away the run game today.
Yeah, you usually figure that a team's going to run about 60 plays a game, and about 40 of those you're going to see Montini want to throw it out. They're going to want to throw it in the air, and that's where this defense has got to get in the set that they pass more than they run. It's a pass-first read this week from what I've heard, and run second.
3rd and 5 from the Geneseo 40-yard line, 7:35 to play in the first. They'll try it again. Walker, he stood up by Pitra and Scott, and he's short of the first down.
Give credit right there to Scott coming in and not only making the tackle, but pulling him backwards, making sure he wasn't anywhere near that first down mark.
And the Broncos are going to go for it. There's no measurement here.
It's only about 4th and a yard.
Turf field, and so we can see the lines very well. And the official calling a timeout found boomerang or something on the field. What is that?
Looks a chin strap. Got a chin strap. That means somebody's playing without one, or they got a double out there.
And this kind of helps.
Maybe it is a boomerang.
Maple Leaf defense now. They got to get set here on this 4th down. They got to kind of get set and get ready here. Big 4th down play early.
Montini 3 straight running plays to go back to the run. It's Walker. First down as he gets inside the 40 to the 39-yard line. 4 straight runs for the Broncos as they move the chains against the Geneseo defense.
Well, they had a big 3rd down play, picked up just enough yardage to get to a safe zone where they could go for it on 4th down, picked up the running play on 4th down. Broncos driving the football down to the 34 of the Leafs.
3 down linemen for Geneseo, 2 receivers spread out to the left. Norgal looking to throw in the pocket over the middle, and it is incomplete. He led his receiver Leon Thornton too far with Devin Haxby and Will Daniels on the coverage for the Green Machine.
He led him by about 1.5 feet too much. It was a wide open play. Haxby and Daniels had it almost covered, but that thing split them.
Very
about
impressed.
a foot and a half, and he'd have had it.
Very impressed with how good Leon Thornton is at getting open. He just finds a way. Will Daniels is right there with him, but somehow he just finds a way to get open.
Number 7 recruit in Illinois, according to ESPN. 2nd and 10. Norgel going the other way. Deep ball down the Geneseo sideline. Overthrows his intended receiver, Tyler Milliken. And on the coverage for Geneseo was Jordan Shanowski, the senior cornerback. We've seen the last 2 pass plays. The wind has played a factor in those throws.
Absolutely, and that's where this passing offense kind of helps out. All of a sudden you look over, it's 3rd down. Now you got to go 10 yards. And Montini, they're trying to get that big play. They want to throw it downfield. They want to go long. And you got to know as Geneseo that you got to stop those big plays.
They got the wind at their back, but it's also a little crosswind that carried that one out of bounds.
Clock stops, 6:37 to play in the first. We're scoreless between Geneseo and Montini. 3rd and 10 from the Geneseo 34-yard line. Norgel over the middle. His pass is juggled and caught by his receiver at the 20. Geneseo wrapping him up and stripping the football, but he was down by forward progress. Tyler Milliken makes the reception for the Broncos.
They blew that whistle before he was down, but they had him wrapped up, so maybe that's an indication the officials are going to call that whistle a little sooner.
You saw all the Leafs running to the ball. They're taught not to stop until they hear a whistle, and once that whistle came, then they did stop, but there were a lot of Leafs in the area.
Big 3rd down play for Montini, that was.
3rd and 10, they converted it. They have it in between the hashes at the Geneseo 20-yard line. Geneseo tight coverage, man-to-man here on this 1st down play. Motion in the backfield. Tyler Mackey rotates that way. Pressure on Norgel. He slips away from Himmelman and then completes the pass to Leon Thornton, who broke off his route and got open on the Montini sideline.
Perfectly thrown ball. Absolutely. Anywhere else, Will Daniel gets a hand on that. And he led Thornton. Thornton had to dive to get the football.
It's hard for these DBs, too, when this quarterback has so much time. These guys up front, we've given them a lot of praise, and this is a big game for them to be able to put pressure on the quarterback.
Football in the red zone inside the 10 at the Geneseo 9-yard line. Motion by Walker. He goes to the left. They'll swing the pass out to him. He makes the catch at the 5, dives to the end zone. No signal yet.
We have a flag.
It looks like a hold. It looks like a hold on that side. There were a lot of guys out there throwing blocks.
Walker stepped out of bounds before the end zone at around the 1-yard line, but there is a penalty marker down.
He was trying to dive over the end zone, end line, and he was hitting the air, knocked out of bounds. And they're going to call holding against Montini. He's going to take the ball back.
First penalty of the game, and that's going to move the football back. Should be back. Almost a spot foul because they move it back to the 16-yard line.
It was a spot foul, and it obviously occurred on the 6-yard line.
Coach Johnson's talking with the official right now. I don't think he agrees with this spot either.
It was a full 10 yards from the line of scrimmage. We'd be back at the 19, but it.
And now they're going to fix it.
They're going to talk about it anyway.
Stop the clock here.
You like that, though. They stop the clock. Make sure you got it right. Even if you think you're right, make sure. It's a big game for both teams.
They are not going to move it. They're going to explain to Coach Johnson that was a spot foul. Must have occurred on the 6-yard line. Coach Johnson still doesn't agree. But that's the way it's going to stand.
5 minutes and 40 seconds. First quarter, no score between Geneseo and Montini. First drive of the game for the Broncos. From the Geneseo 16-yard line. Walker takes the handoff. He's met at the line of scrimmage and taken down by Drew Himmelman and also Ryan Pitra.
Squirted through there for a couple yards, though. It looked like he was stopped right at the line of scrimmage.
Montini
picked up about a yard and a half.
Montini's lost 3 games this year, and those games that they lost, when you go back and look at it, it was penalties and turnovers that plagued them. And this turnover right here was huge on them. They were down inside, close to the 1-yard line, moves them back to about the 15.
2 receivers right and left. They bring motion across the line of scrimmage. Norgels throws the football. It's off the hands. May have been tipped.
Yeah.
Couldn't handle it. I think Justin Scott got his hand on it, number 23, the junior linebacker.
Scott read that right. He kind of looked at the eyes of that quarterback, saw him looking over to his number 1 receiver, and started to make a move that way, was able to get his hand on it.
Now we got a 3rd down play. They are in field goal range. Obviously, they do have a leg that can kick them. But big stop here for the Leafs if they can hold them to a 3-point attempt.
From the 15-yard line of Geneseo, Norgel rolls to his right. Here comes Cooper Humphreys. Pressure, can he get to him? Pass is caught but out of bounds by Thornton. And again, it's Will Daniels on coverage.
I'll tell you what, I am so impressed with the junior right now. He was right in his face. He could not have played that any better. It was Will Daniels right there. Fantastic job on this first series so far.
Thornton upset that was out of bounds, but had he thrown it in fair territory, I think it might have been intercepted. So he threw that the only place he could catch it, and it was out of bounds.
Mason Weisenhofer, who's going to Northwestern, kicked 3 field goals last week in their win over Woodstock Marion. He's in to attempt a field goal here, which will be from 31 yards. He has a long of 42, but he's got a crosswind from his right to left.
It just changes the game when you got a kicker like this. Really does. Leafs got a pretty good kicker too in Ganson.
Geneseo almost jumped off sides. High snap, kick on its way, end over end, and it's right down the middle. Montini scores on their first drive. Geneseo keeps them from scoring a touchdown, and we'll get the football back. 3-0 is the score. 4:53 to play in the first quarter.
Well, as you mentioned, Zach, it was the penalty that moved him back from the 1-yard line to the 16 that saved probably 3 points. And maybe that has been the thing that has bit Montini, along with some good football teams that beat them.
Mm-hmm.
They've lost to some good football teams this year.
Very good football teams. And now this offense, we get to kind of see them come out again there. It always impresses me, this Geneseo offense. They kind of get a feel that first series, and then you really see them get going in those second series and pick things up. It's kind of that first series that you got to get a feel. What's going to work? What's Montini keying on? What are they trying to stop?
Geneseo with 4 starters on offense and defense, 4 guys going both ways today. So it's going to get some guys off the sideline to talk to defensive coordinator Travis Mackey and his staff. They got a feel for what the speed is now of these Montini receivers.
Yeah.
They can work on that here. But Geneseo needs to, we'll get the ball back here.
As we said, very impressed with those Geneseo DBs in this first series.
Touchback on his last kickoff for Weisenhofer. Haxby and Medina back for Geneseo inside the 5. This one a little bit short, and it's going to go in the end zone and out of the back of the end zone. Medina tried to field it, and we'll see the Green Machine offense come out and start at the 20-yard line.
To be able to move this ball up front, it's going to all rely on those big guys we talk about. Beginning of the year, we had question marks, and they definitely put those behind them as these guys have done great throughout the season, and this is a huge game for them to be able to get that push up front and really dominate this run game.
Jacob Beath at center, he's a senior. Zach Shefsky and Carson Krause at the guards. Krause back in the lineup as Ryan Pitcher gets the call, and Pitcher out past the 25-yard line. Ryan Pitcher this week selected, named as an All-State player. Congratulations to Ryan.
1 shoestring away from breaking that for some big yardage. Just tripped up at the line, just past the line of scrimmage, picked up 5.
Ryan, definitely a guy that deserves it when you look at the season he's had. There's a couple of guys I could name on this Geneseo team, though, that were right in the mix of it.
Jacob Van Dorn's the starting right tackle. Sam Thomas at the left tackle position. 2nd and 5. Lane Acree finds his room off here to the left side as a first down run to the 32-yard line. Geneseo will get a new set of downs as they trail by 3. 4:15 to play in the first quarter. Montini 3 and Geneseo 0.
We talked about Geneseo. They got a lot of guys going both ways. Not a lot, but I'd say 3 or 4. Like you said, this Montini, the advantage they have, they have their entire offense down there meeting with coaches, drawing stuff up. That is an advantage you have with the big numbers that they have on this sideline.
Drew Himmelman, a mismatch here. And Pitcher fumbles the pitch, and Montini recovers at the 30-yard line. Haven't had many fumbles this year for Geneseo, especially on that pitch play, but Pitcher couldn't handle it. First turnover of the afternoon, and it goes to Montini.
A lot of times in a game like this, it's the breaks that determine, the flow of the game, and that's the first break of the game, really, except for the penalty that kept Montini out of the end zone. That's the first break, and Montini gets it.
Starting from the Geneseo 30-yard line. Geneseo defense will have to dig in here. They come in with 14 interceptions. Be a good time to get the ball back on one of those. Norgal rolls, throws, and it is through the hands of his intended receiver. Tyler Mackey deflected it after it went off the hands of Patrick Maloney.
Went through Maloney's hands and through Tyler's hands, and that you almost predicted that one, Lauren. That ball just tipped almost right back to Tyler Mackey, and he would have had some green space in front of him.
This is where the Leafs now, they might think that, you got an extra back in there. They bring in another linebacker now and just changing the defense up, changing things up so Montini doesn't know what they're going to see.
3 receivers to this right-hand side, Thornton, Maloney, and they have their tight end out here as well, Tom Highland. Quarterback keeper, and Norgal gets hit up high, breaks a tackle, and gets inside the 25-yard line to about the 23. Doesn't run much. I think he only had 22 net yards coming in to this game on like 70 carries, but he found something there against the Geneseo defense.
Looked like he was going to be hit for a very short gain, but he really kept his feet, made a nice run on that play, 3rd and about 3.
Just inside the Geneseo 25-yard line, 3:18 to play in the first. Montini 3, Geneseo 0. Changing the play from the sidelines as Norgal steps up and then back. They'll run it with Walker. Able to find a crease as he steps back to his left and gets the first down for Montini at the Geneseo 18-yard line.
That moves the chains. Montini controlling this football game and controlling the football. They've had the ball the vast majority of this game. Leafs had to turn it over on downs after 1 first down the first possession, and then fumbled away on the second play of the second.
2 running backs in the backfield. Norgal gets hit as he throws, and it's Thornton, and it's Daniels, and it's knocked away by Daniels, who caught up with the Thornton in the back corner. And first time we've seen Geneseo get pressure on Norgal as he was hit throwing the ball.
Look what happens whenever you get pressure on that guy. That's huge. And those guys up front, they'll get going. They're going against some very big offensive linemen out there.
Receiver was open in the end zone. Had about 3 steps on Daniels, but for some reason that ball was just underthrown. That's probably the first time he's underthrown the ball in the game.
Wind at Montini's back here in this first quarter. It's 2nd down and 10. Pressure coming, Cooper Humphreys, and down he goes! He gets rid of it, though!
Oh, my.
And makes the reception is Walker. Humphreys had him wrapped up at the 30-yard line. I called that one a little early. I thought he was going to be getting dropped.
There is a flag on the play by the umpire. I'm not sure how he got that off. He threw it sidearm to his receiver. It was still a good throw.
The Broncos are holding their heads, saying it's against them.
They might have had a receiver downfield.
I could see how that could
downfield. I'm sorry.
I could easily see how that could happen.
The umpire was the one who threw the flag in the middle of things. He's near that line of scrimmage, so it could be one of those.
Oh, they're going to wave it off. They're going to wave it off and honor the completion.
It was 2nd down and 10. Where did Walker get tackled at? They don't even, I don't know if they have anybody even standing by where the ball was.
But
it's going to be about the 11-yard line.
They picked the flag up and then set it back down.
Even though we did not get the sack on that play.
It's at the 12-yard line.
You got to like seeing the pressure coming in from Geneseo.
Absolutely. It was a great play by Cooper. Not sure how he was able to get it off.
Single coverage, Will Daniels against Thornton on this near sideline on 3rd down, and we'll call it 4. 3-0 Montini. Walker slips through the line of scrimmage inside the 10 to about the 8-yard line. And
it's going to be very close to a first down. They may have to measure this when the flag and the ball are about the 8-yard line. They're looking it over.
Officials
they're going to call it first down.
Eye it up, and they call be 1st and goal for Montini at the Geneseo 8-yard line.
It seems like this Leafs team too, we've seen throughout this season, when you're in that red zone, this is when sometimes that defense just turns it on. Something clinks when you turn around and see you're in your own end zone.
Norgal looking over at Thornton here on the near side. Again, it's Daniels, and Devin Haxby's going to go in the slot. Quick in, and it's a touchdown the other way to Tyler Milliken. And Montini goes up 9-0 in this first quarter, 1:50 to play.
But just a quick slant. Geneseo defense really had no chance on that one. It was a perfectly thrown ball.
Broncos take advantage of that Geneseo turnover, and they only had a 30-yard field to work with and get the touchdown pass, and the extra point is pending.
It's raining confetti here, and I'd hate to have the cleanup job today.
Weisenhofer to attempt the extra point. He's 31 of 32 coming into this. And his extra point is going to be good. Makes the score 10-0. Montini over Geneseo in this Class 5A semifinal game from Lombard.
You see Coach Johnson going to meet his team out there, clapping his hands. Still okay. You got to stay positive. You're down 10-0, sorry, here with a minute 50 left in the first. Some things didn't go your way, but now is when you turn it over. It takes 4 quarters to win a ball game.
You can overcome a turnover early in the game. Tough to really overcome a turnover late in the game in these playoff games. Montini, we knew they were good. They're 27-1 in the last 5.5 years in the playoffs. So tall order here for Geneseo to go on the road. Plenty of football left, though, for the Green Machine.
Yeah, and you talk about them being good, and they're extra good when they're at home here. They've won the last 10 consecutive playoff games that they've had here at home. Although you look, and it could almost be a Geneseo home. As many fans that are here from Geneseo, it's really amazing.
Montini 6-0 at home this season. All 3 losses were on the road. Got to get some momentum here, Green Machine.
Minute 50 left here in this quarter. It's been a long quarter for the Leafs because their defense has been on the field pretty much the entire time. They need to get some offensive surge here if they're going to get back in this game.
Geneseo was moving the football. They had two 5-yard runs to pick up. Would be their second first down of the game, and then we had a fumble. Geneseo had a fumble at the 30-yard line. Ball falls off the tee. Second quarter coming up. Montini's going to be into the wind throwing the football. It's got to be in Geneseo's favor. We have 1:50 to go in this first period. Montini to kick off, ahead 10-0. End over end kick, send it up high. Medina fields it at the 5. He's got a seam up the middle, out to the 20. Stopped at the 26-yard line. A punt and a fumble for the Geneseo offense in this first quarter. They will start from their own 26-yard line.
Montini defense has got some big fellas in there. Very, very big and agile. Leafs got their work cut out for them here.
They have an all-state player, Grant Branch, at nose guard. Or he's on the offensive line, excuse me. First down run, it's Lane Acree bouncing off players. Acree gets it out to the 35-yard line. That's a good sign. That's a 9-yard run.
Talk about guys up on the front. Nose guard Joe Spivak right now is at nose guard, and Jacob Beats going to have his hands full. Spivak, a very good wrestler, too. He's quite the athlete.
These teams have been in the state championship against each other for the last 2 years in wrestling.
There's some history there. Geneseo and Montini have played just once in football. 1982 semifinal game, Geneseo won. They went on to win state that year. Medina sweeping out to the left, and he's taken down right at the 35-yard line. He's going to be about a yard short of the first down. It'll be 3rd and a yard as we go under 1 minute to play in the first quarter. 10-0 Montini.
Didn't fool anybody on that play. Probably would have been better off just to head for the sideline. Might have picked up the first down. Tried to cut it upfield, and they met him head on.
Need a long yard here. Geneseo will have to snap the ball before this first quarter runs out. Under 40 seconds to play, and I think Larry Johnson goes up to the sideline official and wants to call a timeout. So he'll talk it over here with the coaching staff, which offensive coordinator Denny Derricks is just a few feet from us here on the top of this press box.
This is a huge play for the Leafs. Well, a huge play for both teams because if the Leafs could not convert on 3rd down here, they will be in punting against the wind again for the second time, and not a position they want to be when they're down by 10. Montini gets a stop on the other hand. It would be a big plus for them.
And especially this offense that Montini has, they can score and they can score quick. So the least amount of time that they have the ball, the better.
3rd and short. You know, we heard Drew Himmelman talk after the game last week. They really like these 3rd down and short plays. They love picking them up, and they love getting in the trenches and blowing people back off the line of scrimmage.
I know those 1 yard plays, that's when everyone gets into it. That's when you know 1 yard, you better bet with the Leafs.
Give it to the fullback, Acree, and they shoot a linebacker in and take him down for a loss on the play. John Embry, who leads this team in tackles, comes up and makes the stop.
Unblocked. He busts through, and he just kind of got Acree by the ankles, took him down for a loss, and it's going to be 4th and 2.
And this is a big call. You see Coach Johnson meeting with his defensive staff, meeting with his offensive staff. This is a tough call. 4th down. Do you want to give the ball back to Montini? It's a tough call.
Well, Montini calls the timeout. 1, to force if Geneseo does choose to punt into the wind. 2, they'll have the win maybe for one more play in this first quarter, and they might take a shot down the field. 10-0 is the score, and the clock showing 28 seconds in the first.
And it looks like the Leafs are going to send the punt unit out there. They're going to kick it away. No reason to give Montini real good field position here early. They're going to trust their defense.
Greg Rusk had punted earlier in this quarter, and he sent it over to the far sideline. And nobody back for Montini. Well, Rusk could probably just send this end over end, try to get a nice bounce off this turf.
I'm going to try to keep this low.
Snap is back.
Oh,
they try to
block
pressure it, and Russ gets hit, but no call. Number 62 comes in for Montini, Joe Spivak, and makes contact, but there's no call on the play.
The punter fell down to the ground. The ball was not tipped. I'm not sure.
The official was standing there looking it over, did not call it. The Montini player apologized to the official, and maybe he was thanking him for not throwing the flag.
As long as he said sorry, huh?
Montini takes over at their own 33 with 18 seconds to play in the first quarter. It's the Broncos 10, the Green Machine 0. 4 receivers now on this right side for the Broncos. Gonna load it up to this side. They'll go this way. Wide receiver screen to Thornton. Makes the catch. Ball is almost stripped away by Daniels. And Thornton able to hang onto it and get it close to a first down.
Not sure how he did, because it was almost out. It was as close as could be. It was just between his arm and his hip, and luckily he was able. Luckily for them, he was able to get it back in.
It is a first down. Unfortunately, he's got hands of pretty soft hands. Thornton is quite an athlete. You can tell that.
That's going to end the first quarter. Montini leading Geneseo by a score of 10-0.
This TV50 telecast is sponsored in part by Hazelwood Homes, Geneseo Dairy Queen, Eric Henderson and Greg Anderson of Country Financial, Turpins of Geneseo, Geneseo Telephone Company, Central Bank, B&B Lawn Equipment and Cyclery, Snap Fitness, Vandemore Funeral Homes, Holland & Sons, Northside Rexall Drug, Hammond Henry Hospital, ProTech Auto Body, Village Home Stores, Liberty Village, Farmers National Bank. Please patronize these sponsors and let them know you appreciate their support of this TV50 telecast.
Start of the second quarter from Lombard, Class 5A football semifinal game. The Broncos lead Geneseo 10-0, and the Broncos have it 1st and 10 at their own 44-yard line.
Well, Lombard gets the win in this quarter. We'll see if it has any effect on their passing game.
Norgal in the gun. Steps back to the 35, over the middle, long pass to Thornton, tipped away and caught by Thornton, tipped by Daniels. Thornton comes up with it, and the ball is bouncing Montini's way today.
It really is. He was able to get a hand on it, knock it down, and thought it was a fantastic play coming across the middle, but bounced right into the hands, as you said, of Thornton.
All the way down to the Geneseo 22-yard line.
That ball is tipped. It looked like Devin Haxby might have an opportunity at it, and Thornton pulled it in.
Stacked backfield, ball is fumbled, juggled by Walker. and he hangs on to it with no gain on the play. It's Lane Akery at the bottom of the pile along with Grant Pritchard.
You got to think some of these plays are going to start going the Leafs' way. You've had almost 2 close fumbles, a tip ball into their direction. Just got to stay positive here as we talk about.
Well, that's the third opportunity, and the Broncos are getting the best of all of them. Sometimes, just that athleticism is just it's hard to overcome, but Leafs are going to got an uphill battle.
Montini takes their time to bring this play in on 2nd down and 9 from the Geneseo 21-yard line. 2 receivers left and right, Walker in the backfield next to Norgal. Time to throw, and makes the completion on the curl in. Pass is completed to Stephen Davis. Geneseo standing him up, and finally they blow the whistle. It'll be a first down at the Geneseo 7 for Montini.
Perfectly thrown ball. They just really have a nice air game. Geneseo's having a hard time covering it. Their coverage is not really poor. He's just threading the needle on every pass.
Really good at what they do so far, Montini.
Handoff. Walker hit right away and dropped for a loss on the play by Justin Scott. Scott, who comes in with 4 tackles for losses and almost 4 sacks, drives Walker back to almost the 10.
Montini sends in their big unit, so you look over to the Geneseo sideline, send in their own big unit. We'll match it back and forth, the Leafs and Montini so far.
Got to keep Montini out of the end zone here. Hold him to a field goal or get a turnover, Geneseo, as it's 2nd and goal from the 9. Direct snap to Thornton, and out of the Wildcat, and Thornton to the 5. He has 4 rushing touchdowns and 9 receiving touchdowns this year for Montini.
I think you can describe him as an athlete.
All-State, Division I player.
That kid can play.
Geneseo, of course,
they're going to spread him out this time, though, for a 3rd down. They're going to run with 4 wideouts again. Spread the field.
Geneseo running in their personnel here. 3rd and goal. Walker's in a reset to the right of Norgal. Thornton is out wide to the right. Quick slant, and it's another touchdown. Hit the slot receiver on the right side, Tyler Milliken, and Montini goes up 16-0.
It's really hard to cover that play. When all 4 of those guys just slanting in, you got a lot of options. All you got to do is get one step on a guy, and he popped it.
9:36 before halftime. Montini will kick the extra point.
On top of being a Northwestern recruit, he's got the shoes. He's got kicker shoes.
Taking his time here to finally kick the ball. And this one is good. 17-0 is the score.
He kicked that ball about 50 yards against the wind.
Couple touchdown passes from Norgal to Milliken. And Geneseo will get the football back. They're trailing by 17.
Well, as we mentioned, the Leafs have the wind this quarter. They're going to have to try to do something with it if they're going to make this a football game. 17-0 in favor of Montini. 9:36 left to go here in the first half.
And now this offense comes out. We got to see them. We got to see them move the ball a little bit better. It's been Montini's time of possession that has killed the Leafs so far.
Weisenhofer will have to kick into this wind. About a 10 to 15 mile wind blowing across the field. Medina and Devin Haxby will return this for Geneseo. They're standing inside the 10. Cole Hunzacker and Connor Welch standing at the 20-yard line for Geneseo. Waiting for the whistle to restart the game. High kick, wins and push it back, and Cole Hunzacker makes the catch at the 21, comes to his left. Hunzacker out to the 30, And he is taken down at the 34-yard line. Good return by Cole Hunzacker.
You have pretty good field position here now to start this drive.
That's a lot different when you're kicking against the wind. That ball was about 25 yards shorter than it was at the other end. Leafs may put the ball up a little bit with the wind at their back. You never know.
Have not thrown the football today. So far, Green Machine offense has kept it on the ground. And now we're waiting to get our football in and Montini's ball off the field.
Montini very likely is betting against the Leafs putting it in the air. Got it stacked pretty tight in the box.
Medina in the slot to the right, sweet play. Pitra, he's got room to run, gets out to the 40, outside the numbers, cuts it back to the midfield, and he has it in Montini territory. First time Geneseo's been there today, stopped at the 47-yard line.
A nice gain on the outside. He had Josh Beard blocking for him. That was huge on the outside to get that corner that split out with him, to be able to get hands on him and push him inside. Pitcher was able to get around the corner and out. Pitcher against that linebacker. I'll bet with Pitra every time.
19-yard run for Ryan Pitra. Longest play of the day for the Green Machine. From the Montini 47, Pitra in motion. Give him the football. Second back, breaks it through. 40, down to the 35, and tripped up finally at the 33.
Pitcher's playing well.
One more trip again, and he'd had some big yardage yet. He just had his shoelace tied just a little tighter maybe.
Back-to-back first down runs for Ryan Pitra in this Green Machine offense. Josh Beard coming in with the play.
This is how you get that momentum back, too. It was kind of getting a little down here. Montini was really rolling, and now this Leafs offense is finally able to move the ball pretty well.
Obviously some urgency. They know with down 17-0, they've got to put a score on the board.
8:40 to go, 17-0 Montini. Acree is hit, stood up, and pushed back for no gain.
That whistle didn't blow quite as fast as it did earlier in the game. He was stood up for about 3 seconds before that whistle blew. Took a hard hit at the end of it, too.
Have to run that fullback to keep that defense honest on the inside. Second down and 10. Alex Disher, number 16, brings the play in for Geneseo. Disher's in a lineup. Wide right, Himmelman wide left. Himmelman with 5 touchdown receptions this year. Sweet play, Medina trying to get some blocks out front. Medina to the 25, to the 20, the 15, Medina to the 10, the 5. It's a Green Machine touchdown.
That gets Geneseo fans into it, and that's what they needed to get this momentum back. Still down by a little bit, but still this is a,
late flag. And they call Geneseo for a push. I don't even know where's the flag at.
I still don't see the flag.
I actually saw the block in the back, and unfortunately it was trailing the play, had no effect on the play. It was right down by the flags on the 6-yard line. It's going to move back. It's still going to be a first down. It's going to be a spot foul. It should be anyway.
That's huge. We talked about penalties. Penalties have plagued the Leafs. They're averaging over 50 yards per game in penalties against themselves, and that really hurt.
But it's still a first down at the 16-yard line. That infraction was at the 6.
Now you got a little excitement, got to roll on it.
No pizzas that time, but we'll get one here in 16 yards. From the 16, Pitra, sweet play. Puts his head down, barrels to the 8 as his helmet comes off, and he'll have to leave the field for one play.
Pitra is running just like a truck, head down, just rolling through guys. He'll run right at him.
Jordan Shanowski's going to come in and take Pitra's place.
I wonder if that becomes a tactic now. They're trying to rip a guy's helmet off to get him off the field.
8-yard run for Pitra.
How often does that happen?
Geneseo's been, they have, besides the Lane Acree, just the no gain play, they've had 3 consecutive first down runs. And now an 8-yard run here inside the 10 at the Montini 8, 7:13 to play. Montini 17, Geneseo 0. And it's Medina, as everybody thought Acree had the ball, and Medina has a first down to the Montini 5.
That's the Geneseo way right there. Second back through. Montini's keying on this run. They saw the handoff and they go after that first guy, but it was the second back through Medina who went just a little bit more outside and was able to get the first down inside about the 5-yard line.
They did a great job of tackling Acree, but he didn't have the football. Montini with their backs to the wall now. Leafs trying to score.
Football between the hashes at the Montini 5. Acree and Pitra behind Rusk. It's Pitra. Breaks a tackle, puts his head down.
Touchdown.
He's in. It's a touchdown for Geneseo. 10th caller, La Roma Pizza. You win a free large 2-topping pizza. Every time Geneseo scores a touchdown, live broadcast viewers, listeners only. 1 winner per season, must redeem within 1 week. La Roma Pizza 944-6171.
That was a huge drive to overcome that penalty. Looked like they had a touchdown earlier, moved back to the 16-yard line, went ahead and took it in about 3 plays.
Extra point pending from Ryan Ganson. Pressure coming, he gets the kick away and sends it through. It's good. 17-7, 6:41 to play in the second quarter. Geneseo on the scoreboard.
That was a huge drive to capitalize on, though. You started to get down. They were able to score on 3 consecutive series. They came out with points, and the Leafs were held up. But now you start seeing some excitement on that sidelines. You see the fans getting up. It's starting to get more excitement over there on the Geneseo side.
Got a little quiet over here on the Montini sideline.
As we talked earlier, Montini platoons, and of course their offense was off the field. They're planning on how they're going to counter with that, so it'll be interesting to see how the Leaf defense bucks up against the Montini offense on this drive.
For Geneseo, that is touchdown number 56. So we want to thank La Roma Pizza for all those pizza giveaways this year. To restart the game, Ryan Ganson had a long field goal to 44 yards at Rochelle this season.
What a kick that was, too.
See, I was trying last week. Last week was the first football game I missed. I was trying to figure out how I could call in to Roma's Pizza, but I was listening to the game on my phone. I was a little bit perplexed by that concept.
Jesse Dobbles is a pizza winner this year. He's zeroed in on the camera here. Here's Ganson's kick with the wind. He puts it into the end zone. So Montini's going to start at the 20-yard line. That's going to be their worst field position of this first half. We'll see if Geneseo can stop them. They've come close. Montini's converted on 3rd and long a couple times. As we have a 17-7 score, Montini on top of Geneseo in this Class 5A semifinal game.
And they're going to spread their quarterback out. They're going to go out of that Wildcat again.
Thornton with motion by Walker. And he goes back to his right. They'll restart the play. And they hand it to Walker, sweeping. Nope. Flag thrown by the umpire, and this is going to come back. This will be a penalty against Montini, the double shift.
Was there a handoff, or did he receive the snap? I think the running back received the snap. Interesting play. Nullified, no matter what it was, it's all nullified back to, it's going to be a 5-yard penalty, so it's going to be 1st and 15.
Penalties coming to play again.
Going into a win, though, it's kind of let up here a little bit. First down and 15 from the 15-yard line. Run it to Walker. Geneseo all over him as they stop him for a 1-yard gain.
Nice play by Lane Acree to come in there, though, because they took that tackle and they tried to get the backside linebacker and send another guy after that first linebacker. That puts a lot of pressure on these linemen to break off and make plays.
Halfway through
Grant Pritchard obviously in the middle of that, and Tyler Mackey coming up from the safety spot.
Just under the 6-minute mark of the second quarter, 17-7 Montini over Geneseo. 2nd and 14. Geneseo playing tight on the coverage. Norgal looking downfield. He's going to throw the deep ball. Geneseo. It's caught by Milliken at the 40. He's down the sideline to the 10, into the end zone. It's a touchdown, and this one will stand. There's no flags on the play. Geneseo may have been a double move. Somebody slipped here in the secondary, too, for Geneseo, and that allowed Milliken to get wide open.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Jordan Janowski here on this closest side fell down going back. He slipped, and he was kind of stranded. He was one-on-one with that guy, and he was wide open over on this left side.
Yeah, he had about a 20-yard. He could just stood there and waited for that thing, about a 20-yard lead on anybody, and that was a tough one for the Leafs. Quick score for the Broncos.
84-yard touchdown pass Milliken's got his third today from Norgal, and the extra point is coming up for the Broncos. (24-7) is the score. Montini leading Geneseo. 5:35 to play before halftime.
Well, tough first half for the Leafs. Good thing is there's a lot of time left on the clock. 5.5 minutes left to go in the first half, plus the whole second half. So they're going to find out of how tough they are. This is a fine Montini club, though. They haven't played this. They're trying to get in their 6th straight championship football game. That's a pretty nice program.
Yeah, and we look, just the athletes that they have are absolutely phenomenal right now. Montini on the edge, they're guys that they send out in running routes are just phenomenal athletes. But it'd be nice right now if we can see the Leafs take about 5.5 minutes off that clock right now and produce a long drive, go into halftime, and come up with a game plan to stop this offense.
Joey Medina and Devin Haxby back for Geneseo. Cole Hunzacker and Connor Welch, the upbacks. Montini with about 150 fewer students than Geneseo, but they are in 5A based on the multiplier.
With the multiplier, Geneseo, the smallest 5A team.
Smallest all time.
Smallest all time.
832 students. Kick by Weisenhofer is going to be caught by Connor Welch at the 18, and he's taken down right there. Nowhere to go for Connor as that ball was held up by the wind, allowing the special teams for Montini to get downfield.
Yeah, he had 2 guys on top of him so fast. He stood up and took it, though. I think I might have ducked. They're going to give him forward progress to the 20.
5:30 to play before halftime. Geneseo takes over at their own 20-yard line, down by 17 points. Greg Rusk take the snap from Jacob Beath, toss it to Pitra. Pitra is hit at the 21, gain of 1 on the play.
Stood him right up at 21-yard line. They filled pretty well. Again, not fooled on that one.
Leafs were outnumbered on this side here. They had 2 blockers to the 3 tacklers on this side, and the one open tackler was able to meet Pitra right at the line.
Tried to cut it again, cut inside. They've seemed to have a little more success when they tried to just go ahead and take it wide. But I think he might have been turned in on that one.
Medina goes out wide. He's out beyond Beard. And Rusk to throw, gets it to Ryan Pitra, makes the catch at the 24. And Montini closes in quickly. It's a short gain, 3rd and 5. First pass for Greg Rusk, and it's complete to Ryan Pitra.
They're going to move him out to the 26-yard line. Make it 3rd and 4, and the Leafs, this is just huge that they try to pick up this 4 yards. There's
clock running, 4:25 to play in the second quarter. Montini 24, Geneseo 7.
They certainly don't want to give the ball back to Montini if they want to stay in this ball game.
Sweet play, Pitra with Medina out to block. Ryan has the first down. Hard running again there by the senior All-State running back to the Montini, or the Geneseo 31.
Ryan has just turned it up a notch. When he gets on the outside or when he's running up the middle, he's running with his head down and he's plowing through guys.
Well, he knew where that first down marker was at the 30-yard line. He wasn't going to be denied. He wasn't trying to fool anybody. Just put his head down and dove over that 30-yard line, picked up the first down.
We reached the 4-minute mark of the second quarter. 1st and 10, Geneseo from their own 31. Josh Beard, senior split end, is wide to the left. Matched up in single coverage. Medina second back, hurdles of defender, gets to the 40. First down run for Medina to the Montini 42, or for the Geneseo 42.
Great job there on the left side. They kind of took the tackle. Sam Thomas had him block out and had Drew Himmelman block down, and that opened up that crease right there on the left side, outside the end.
Medina didn't take a lot of time getting up that head of steam. He just hit that hole, hit it hard, picked up about 12, about 11.
Montini jumped out to a 7-0 lead. The teams have traded touchdowns the last 2 series. 1st and 10, Acree trying to plug off the right-hand side. out to the 44. We'll give Acre 2 yards on that run.
Every week when you play a new team, you always wonder what they're going to key on, what they're going to look for. And it looks like right now Montini's keying on Lane Acre. He hasn't been able to find much success just because every time he touches the ball, he's got somebody right there.
He doesn't even have to touch the ball. They're hitting that first man through whether he has the ball or not pretty regularly.
2nd and 8. Motion by Medina. He'll take the football from Rusk. Sweep to the left with pitcher out throwing a block and hit late is Medina on the Geneseo sideline. Must have been in the field of play because nobody got too upset about that.
First man tried to tackle him high and didn't get it done, but it looked like he had a hold of the helmet, let go of it. The officials, it looks like the coaches are talking over there, but nothing's going to occur here. Going to be third and about 4 to go. It's a big third down to play again. The Leafs keep facing the third down plays.
The out of bounds play stops the clock. 2:51 to play before halftime.
This is a huge play.
Russ steps back, looks, throws. It's caught by Medina. And he spins his way. Looks like he may have the first down. He was hit at the 49, but Medina got out of the grasp and was able to get a Geneseo first down.
Phenomenal effort by Joey Medina to get that first down. He was hit about a yard short, had to spin out of the tackler's arms and dive over that line.
We talk about that's football smarts right there. To know when you're tackled, you got to go on this third down play. You got to spin off whatever you got to do to get that first down.
Luke Shepard could not come up with a tackle for Montini. Breaking the huddle is Geneseo. The clock on the move. 2:30 to play before half. Geneseo down by 17, 24-7. Back to the run game. Medina hit in the backfield. Tries to find a seam. He gets through a gap.
Don't throw it,
to about the 44-yard line.
I saw that there. We saw that, yeah, Jacob Beath was hit down on the ground, getting up, just getting up after the play was blown dead and pushed back down to the ground.
Medina had his shoe come off partially. He gets it back on. Has 3 yards on that play, 2nd and 7. Fake it to Acre, give it to Pitra, stiff arm. And he's taken out on the Montini sideline for about a yard gain.
Nice stiff arm, picked him up a couple yards. He would have been tackled for a loss. But you would hope that sportsmanship would be a little higher, more prevalent in a game like this.
And it comes to that third down, 3rd and 5.
3rd and 5.
That's been the key to this series, converting on that.
Medina down the line. Acre trying to pick up the first down. He's hit in the backfield by Terrell Johnson, who's 2nd on this team in tackles. And it's 4th down and 5. I would think Geneseo goes for it here, down by 17, but they will call a timeout, and they'll take their second timeout. They have 1 left, stopping the clock with 1:38 to play in the second quarter. Montini 24, Geneseo 7.
As we mentioned earlier, Montini obviously keying on the fullback, had that one kind of sniffed out early.
Yeah, and even when Lane Acre isn't getting the ball, you talked about it, that it's that first back through. So when those big plays are opening up in the run game, it's Lane Acre getting hit, taking the hits for the teammates.
This is a tough call. It is in Bronco territory at the 42-yard line. Tough call for the Leafs. Whether they go for it here, if they don't really want to give them the ball in great field position with 1:38 left, if they fail on 4th down, this would be great field position for Montini if they could hold. On the other hand, they could punt as deep as they want if they strike long like they did the last time. Montini is just very dangerous from any spot on the field.
Greg Rusk has completed all his passes here in this first half.
And he's
They're going to punt it away.
He's in punt position right now.
Geneseo's going to play the field position game here. Down by 17. Montini's going to get the football back the way it's looking here. Rusk, who is their quarterback for Geneseo, standing at his own 48-yard line. Josh Beard with the long snap. This one is going to come down.
Somebody
get
down there.
And
they're going to get it at the 20-yard line.
This punt rolls in for a touchback. So Greg, who's been known to get the old rollback the other way this season, doesn't get the bounce on that one.
He kind of got that off quick too, because last play you saw, or last punt you saw, was almost blocked on the corner. So got that off a little quicker, but his bullets weren't able to get down the field quick enough.
Well, the Leafs will probably have to go into some sort of a prevent here and make sure that they can let them nibble away a little bit, but they can't get the big strike.
Saw the quarterback warming up on this sideline. He's looking to throw it. He's looking to get that big strike, as you talk about.
Shanowski and Disher in the secondary on this near side. Quarterback takes it up the middle after faking to Walker and has it out to the 31-yard line. That's okay. We'll give him those 10 yards there.
And that's wide open. That was just wide open up the middle. The pressure from the outside. Everybody else dropping back in coverage.
Stop the clock just for a moment. 1:25. Reset the chains. 1st and 10 from the 31. Wide receiver screen is complete to Thornton. He gets free and pushed out of bounds near midfield by Tyler Mackey.
In 2 plays, they made up all the ground that they got on the punt, plus a little more.
Ball out to the 49-yard line of Montini, and
it doesn't
a couple
take
of these
long.
receivers from Montini, they don't know where the line of scrimmage is. They have to back up 5 yards and reset. Norgel will go with the wide receiver screen to this side, makes the completion, breaks a tackle, and a first down play to the Geneseo 39.
Uncharacteristic of this Geneseo defense, too, is missing a lot of tackles right now. They got to settle in, get this thing going.
A lot of arm tackling out there. It almost looks like a team that's down 24-7, and they know it. They're going to have to get themselves their pride back up and play football. Montini is just dominating the football game.
Screen play. Dennis caught that last one from Montini. Pass is caught as Norgel gets hit by Pritchard, and Walker gets free. Finally taken down near the 37-yard line. Montini's going to call a timeout. 49 seconds to play before halftime.
Had him juke stepping behind the line of scrimmage and finally picked up a couple yards on that play. I guess pick up a 1.
Scores 24-7. Montini over Geneseo. Class 5A semifinal game from Lombard.
It's been Lombard-Montini's offense that has really plagued this Geneseo defense, though. And it seems like, though, all year that this defense has been great, and they've been even better coming out of the halftime. They're able to make those adjustments, talk things over. So, like we said, if they don't let up a score here, keep it where it's at. It just gives them a better shot coming out of halftime. Keep this positive energy.
Montini has played some close games this year also, so they obviously make those adjustments. But Leafs have not been down by 17 at half, and hopefully that's all it is. Hopefully they don't pick up any more points here, make that deficit any larger.
2nd down and 9 for Montini at the Geneseo 38-yard line after the timeout. Teams line it up. Cooper Humphreys over here in the setup against the slot receiver. Devin Haxby, Alex Disher, Shanowski in the secondary. He'll try that same play to Dennis. Wide open, makes the catch at the 40, and a tackle made by Devin Haxby, who has to run a long ways to make that tackle.
The clock is running. He kept him in bounds on that play.
It's now they call it a first down, so they stop the clock at 41.
Wow.
And the Leafs are just outnumbered on these screen plays.
That only took 7 seconds off the clock, even though he stayed in bounds.
Long pass to the end zone, and it is caught by Thornton for a touchdown. Jacob Yarger almost had a sack. Just did not get there in time, and it's a touchdown for Montini. Leon Thornton, his first touchdown today. 4 touchdown passes for the Montini quarterback, Charles Norgel. That pass play covered almost 30 yards. Extra point is good.
Pretty good.
31-7, Montini.
Well, they scored. They took 1 minute and 6 seconds to go 80 yards. They're very proficient. They just moved that ball down the field, mostly just on sideline screens. Moved the football down the field, and then the bomb wide open in the end zone was Thornton.
Geneseo's been talking about they want to make this a fast game, just kind of ground and pound it. But I'm telling you, coming out of the second half, they're going to have to look to the air. They're going to have to try to get those outside runs. They're going to have to come up with some big plays down by 24.
32 seconds to play before halftime. It's 31-7 Montini over Geneseo, and the Broncos are going to start the third quarter with the football too.
Every time that Montini has had the ball, they've been able to score, so that's got to be fixed here at halftime.
Geneseo football team with 12 wins coming into this, undefeated 12-0. Back-to-back 12-game win seasons for Geneseo. It's like the only third or fourth time in school history that's happened. You have to go back to like the 92-93 season where Geneseo had back-to-back seasons with 12 or more wins. A special group here for Geneseo. Down by 24 though.
And they got a half, 24 minutes and 32 seconds to play, and you know they're gonna, whether they win or lose, they're gonna play for pride. We certainly, that's what we certainly expect. Montini, of course, they're pretty fired up. They believe they got this one in the bag.
Squib kick, and it's gonna be fielded by Cole Hunzacker at the 27. Cuts it back up the middle, gets free to the 35, and Hunzacker with a nice return again to the 38-yard line. What does Geneseo do here with 26 seconds left?
It's one of those things that in the Sycamore game, Sycamore decided to go for it, and they ended up fumbling right there near their end zone with not very much time left going into halftime. We'll see what Coach Johnson decides for this Green Machine crew.
I think Montini has maybe 2 timeouts left. Geneseo down to 1.
Yeah, they're obviously just going to take a knee and live with it.
Second back, Medina tries to bounce to the outside, and Joey reaches out to the 45-yard line, has a 7-yard run as the clock runs down to 15 seconds and still moving.
Looks like that's going to be the last play of this half.
They're going to go into halftime and try to lick their wounds here and see if they can get back in the ball game. Montini on top, 31-7. It's all Montini so far.
We're at halftime, and the teams head off the field. Geneseo behind by 24. It's Montini 31, the Green Machine 7.
This TV50 telecast is sponsored in part by Hazelwood Homes, Geneseo Dairy Queen, Eric Henderson and Greg Anderson of Country Financial, Turpins of Geneseo, Geneseo Telephone Company, Central Bank, B&B Lawn Equipment and Cyclery, Snap Fitness, Vandemore Funeral Homes, Holland & Sons, Northside Rexall Drug, Hammond Henry Hospital, ProTech Auto Body, Village Home Stores, Liberty Village, Farmers National Bank. Please patronize these sponsors and let them know you appreciate their support of this TV50 telecast.
We're ready for the second half from Lombard in this Class 5A semifinal football game with Montini leading the Geneseo Green Machine 31-7. The Broncos will start the third quarter with the football, and Ryan Ganson's going to come out and kick off. Zach, you noticed something about Ryan Pitcher over here as the teams were warming up. You didn't see him in the lineup.
No, I didn't see him out there. Now I see his dad back over there. I've seen a lot of players go up and gonna hug him, talk to him. So I don't know if an injury occurred or if something was recognized at halftime. We'll try to get that as soon as we know something.
Ganson will have the wind at his back to kick off. Montini will go into the wind as they scored 21 points in that second quarter against the wind. And we talked about the long touchdown pass, 84 yards after Geneseo scored to make it 17-7. Montini came back with that long touchdown pass to get the momentum back. Kickoff coming down at the 2-yard line, and Cole Hunzacker with a great stick at the 19-yard line.
Nice play by the sophomore. He's done a great job on special teams. He's seen the ball twice on kickoff returns, and he's done a great job at fielding it.
We'd like to say who had returned that ball for Lombard, but we don't have a number 19 in the program.
It does appear that Ryan Pitcher is not out there on this defensive squad. That's a huge loss. The All-Stater has done great things in the first half.
Norgal, who was 16 of 23 in the first half, throwing the football, 4 touchdowns, swings it out. Pass is caught by Maloney, and Maloney over the 35 to the 38-yard line.
And that charge right there, that was trying to make the play out there was Jordan Jackson, just a sophomore out there, and he's been called on early on against Belvedere when Cooper Humphreys went out. Now it looks like Ryan Pitcher's out, and he's called on again against a hard offense.
Run play to Prince Walker, stopped at the 44-yard line by Drew Himmelman and Justin Scott.
Just shows you how good this offensive line is too, just because you see this really good defensive line for the Leafs getting pushed back. They're back on their backs. I know Coach Ferguson, over their defensive line coaches, talked with these guys, moving forward, going after that quarterback much as possible.
Grant Branch is an all-state player, left tackle for Montini. He's been protecting Norgal today. 2nd down and 4. Geneseo blitzing. Here comes Scott, and the pass is caught by Milliken, who tries to dive forward to that first down marker. There it is again, just coming so close to getting a sack. And then not only does he avoid the sack, but he completes the pass.
Very good player. We talk about again, and it looks like we're not going to see Ryan Pitcher so far in this contest. It's a huge loss for this Geneseo team. We're not sure what happened again. He played the entire first half, came out of halftime, and we kind of saw him over on the track. But again, this is where you can't get negative. You just got to roll with it. You just got to roll what's with Delta. And these teams that make long runs in the playoffs, they roll with it well, and they stay positive about it.
First down play for Montini. 11 minutes to play in the third, 31-7. Broncos ahead of Geneseo.
Got to get a little fire out there on defense. Take pride in how well this defense has played to come up with a stop here.
Empty backfield, 3 receivers wide left, 2 to the right, quarterback keeper. And Jordan Jackson makes the stop for Geneseo. Norgal gets to the Geneseo 44-yard line.
Sophomore is getting a lot, getting called on in a big situation, a semifinal football game. They're going to have too many. Lane Acree now was hobbling a little bit, and they sent in Yarker. Acree wasn't going to get off the field in time. Luckily, the officials stopped play to get the injured Acree off the field.
Lane, another one of those seniors, 2-way players. He's had a couple setbacks this season as far as ankle injuries, and he now is taken off the field. He walks off the field. It looked like he was limping. 2nd down and 3. Prince Walker spins out of a tackle and gets to the 39-yard line. It's a first down for Montini. 10:15 to play in the third. 31-7's the score, Broncos.
This is hard to watch when you got the seniors going out. They're able to drive the ball. You got 2 key seniors out over on the sidelines, and just got to take pride, like I said. You just got to, something big has got to happen. You got to get something big to go your way.
Geneseo showing blitz, and that's going to change the play call for Montini. From the 39-yard line of Geneseo, Norgal, his pass is caught again. And it's that little hitch play, 5 yards to the Geneseo 33-yard line.
Got to see the Leafs work on that screenplay over there, because it's worked so well. Whenever they really need those 5 yards, they can look over to the screen, and it's been open so far. The Leafs have been outnumbered on the corners.
2nd down and 6 for Montini. Leon Thornton wide right. Will Daniels did a pretty good job against him today.
Yes, he
on
has.
defense. Blitz is coming.
Oh.
Scott misses it. Pass is incomplete. Milliken could not hang on to it.
I do got to say, I know we don't say it a lot, but Tyler Mackey's done a great job at being able to communicate and get the DBs in the right position. This is a big job when you got 3-4 guys spread out. Make sure everyone's in the right position. There's different calls for different situations. It's a lot for these DBs to take in 1 week.
Clock stopped on the incomplete pass. 9:11 to play in the third. Third down and 5 for Montini at the Geneseo 34-yard line. Pressure again from Scott. Gets to the quarterback. Thornton catches the ball. They say he was inbounds, and he has a first down for Montini.
The Leafs are always so close. Every time they tackle that quarterback down to the ground, but they're always 1 second late. They're so close. Great play by Montini, though, to use that sideline, get both feet in.
No huddle for the Broncos as they line it up at the Geneseo 28-yard line. 3 receivers to the left. Dennis in motion. Norgal, wide receiver screen. Pass caught and a gain out to the 20-yard line. Another missed tackle by Geneseo.
Missed tackles that we don't see happen during the regular season.
Eight-yard gain, second down and 2. Ball at the Geneseo 21-yard line. Walker next to Nargle. Grant Pritchard at the nose guard position for Geneseo. Drew Himmelman and Jacob Yager on the defensive line. Cooper Humphreys over in the nickel position. Senior defensive back, and a timeout taken by Montini. 8:19 to play in the third quarter. It's 31-7. Broncos leading Geneseo. Montini starting this drive from their own 19-yard line. Have it all the way down to the Geneseo 21.
It's been about 5 yards here, 5 yards there. That's what's compiled this Montini drive down the field. We haven't seen any real big plays, huge plays like 50 yards like we saw in a couple of those other drives.
Really tough to defend that pass to the sideline. I don't know how you do that. I mean, you got to come up either play really tight coverage, but then you risk getting burned deep.
And really the mentality of this Geneseo defense is, can you throw that 5-yard play time after time after time after time again to sustain a drive and not throw an interception or miss up somewhere?
To this point, they've proved yes.
Yeah.
Now, Montini just been able to get out and block our defensive backs after that catch is made. Second down, 3 yards to go. Walker gets the handoff, bounces it out to the outside, turns it upfield to the 10, the 5, touchdown Montini. Prince Walker scores from 22 yards away.
When they don't throw the football, they can still run. Got just quick feet, bounced off a couple guys, and he was just open daylight.
They came into this game with more rushing touchdowns than passing touchdowns. Had 27 touchdowns on the ground. Walker, his first touchdown today and the first touchdown run for the Broncos.
Problem is you put these DBs, you spread them all out and everything, and then it puts more pressure when you take one of those linebackers out. Those guys have to perform. It's a lot of pressure on them in the middle, the linemen, the linebackers.
We await the extra point from Mason Weissenhofer. And it is good. That makes the score 38-7, Montini over Geneseo, with 8:10 to play in the third quarter. Montini scores on the opening drive of the third period, and they have scored every time they've touched the football today. 5 touchdowns and a field goal.
Going against the wind, they just methodically moved it down the field. Didn't even count on the long strike, just moved it right on down the field, took it in the end zone. Boy, you know, it's got to be discouraging a little bit for the Leafs. It's really hard to keep your head up when, you know, when everything they do just turns to gold. It's a good football team they're playing.
Geneseo maybe without their 2 captains the rest of the way, Ryan Pitra and Lane Akery. We'll see who comes out for the offense in the backfield after this kick return. Pitra was not in on that defensive series, and Lane Akery went off the field limping.
Yeah, the pitch for one, we're not sure. He just came out of halftime, wasn't part of that offensive unit that was warming up, and then defensively wasn't out there too.
Time for the kickoff to restart the game from Weisenhofer. Gets underneath this one, pops it up to Connor Welch, makes the catch at the 20. Welch to the 24-yard line.
They even have speed on their kickoff coverage. The speed just exudes from this team at every position. The guys got quick feet, and it's just hard to compete with.
They have no boundaries here at Montini.
Only multipliers.
1st and 10 for Geneseo at the 24-yard line.
In this case, it wasn't enough.
Medina with the handoff. 70 yards in the first half for Medina. Petra had almost 70 yards rushing as well.
Again, Montini not fooled by that. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. No gain. The Leafs haven't had a lot of success up the middle today. Very few yards gained up the middle. The wide stuff has been their bread and butter.
The question mark was, can Montini stop this run? And they've done a pretty good job of it so far. The Leafs have had to get outside and break the edge to be able to get real yardage.
Shotgun formation.
Shanowski, and that's a lateral.
That's a live ball. The official called it right away that was a live ball.
They were working on that play, warming up here before the third quarter. That pass could not be caught by Shanowski, but he fell on it. It was a lateral, and the loss on the play.
And that's a guy who's filling in for Petra. We talk about he's coming in not having all the experience this year. He's coming in and happened to fill for a all-state running back.
Sorry we don't have any information for why Petra's not in there, but
we don't know. We didn't see anything at the end of the first half that would tell us that he got hurt or you know. 3rd down and 17 for Geneseo. Pistol formation.
Delay a game. Yeah, Coach Johnson takes the timeout. The back official was counting. He was down to about 2 or 3 seconds, and the Leafs weren't ready to go yet.
Well, it's 3rd and long as it is, and they really don't need to. They really couldn't afford to have that 5-yard penalty tacked on. Leafs, with the wind at their back, have almost have to put the ball up in some form this time. We found out in many phases of the game we're not going to out-quick them. Maybe we can out-jump them if we get Himmelman out downfield.
Greg Rusk 2 for 2 in that first half, passing the football. A couple little short completions. So 3rd down after the timeout. Geneseo looking at 17 yards from their own 18-yard line. They need to get out close to the 35. Akery in the backfield with Rusk in the pistol formation. Low snap, rolls to his left, looking downfield. Beard is open down the field, but Rusk just doesn't have time to get him the football. He was double coverage on Beard around the 50-yard line. Geneseo will have to punt the ball on 4th and long.
There's a great advantage to having a spread offense for your defense because they practice against it every day. These guys practice against the best every day, day in and day out, so defensive pass coverage has got to be good.
Rusk will stand at around his 10-yard line. Leon Thornton at his own 45, punting with the wind at his back. Good punt, high punt by Rusk, fielded by Thornton. And did he call a fair catch?
He did call fair catch, but then he bobbled it. Geneseo
laying off the hit there, and Montini's going to take over at their own 44-yard line in the 3rd quarter. 6:22 to play. It's 38-7 Montini.
I don't know if the ball actually has to hit the ground before they can actually hit the receiver, but they did hold off. There was no flag for the kind of the wraparound after the bobble.
Jacob Beath, senior, number 53, middle linebacker, along with junior Justin Scott. 4 linemen down for Geneseo on this 1st and 10 play. Run up the middle to the Geneseo 45-yard line. Dylan Mayer.
Jake Yarger on the tackle.
That's a problem when they spread you out. You get everybody spread out. You're expecting that pass, and then they've been really good at the run too. They've been able to find the open holes.
They're just quick. They just have so much speed in every position.
First down play for the Broncos. Maurer gets it again, and there's a nice tackle by Will Daniels, who comes up and makes a solo stop.
Will Daniels has played great.
That's a great tackle by Daniels.
Holding the call on Montini as we have a flag down.
They're almost going to have to take it back. You wish you could decline that thing because there's only a 1 yard gain, but they're going to have to take that thing back 10 yards. Holding occurred right at the line of scrimmage. It's going to be 1st and 20.
Mark it back to the Montini 45-yard line. First and 20 as a Broncos change out a lineman. Under 6 minutes to play in the third. Norgel, quick out, pass is complete to Justin Blake.
They've been doing a good job at yards after contact. The Leafs haven't been able to get that first guy to wrap them up, and it really boggles us up here because it's something that the Leafs have done so well all year.
Looked like they had him for a 1 yard gain. It turned out to be a 5. That's something we're usually talking about on the opposite side. The Leafs picking up that extra yardage.
Second down and 15. Now looks like a play call here for a play change by...
We do have Lane Acree on the defensive line, so Lane appears to be back in the ball game.
Quarterback keeper by Norgel. Fumbled the football, hit by Cooper Humphreys. And Geneseo gets the turnover. They'll take over at their own 41-yard line.
And you love to see that over the Geneseo coaching staff jumping up and down. They're trying to get these players into it. The fans start to cheer a little bit, try to just get something.
That was Alex Disher.
Get something.
Alex Disher come up with the football. Yeah, you do. You just need some excitement here to get your pride boiling a little bit. Get in there and play hard.
Geneseo will take over with 4:58 to play in the third, down 38-7 to Montini. Swing it out pass to Shanowski. And that's a backwards pass, and Montini gets the ball back. So a lateral pass that Shanowski couldn't catch, and Montini fell on the loose ball.
Part of the last play that Montini ran offensively we didn't pick up on here, but the quarterback is now sitting here with the trainer holding his arm. So we got a new quarterback into the game.
Checking his,
for Montini.
They're checking his shoulder, neck area on the left side. So new quarterback for Montini.
Number 17.
We'll get his name here in just a second. Justin Blake. Ball is fumbled again, and Montini falls back on it. Lane Acree and Jordan Jackson almost got that loose football.
Pretty crazy to see here with two teams in the semifinals in Class 5A, back-to-back fumbled turnovers, but the result they end up getting on top of it. I did get some reports that that Ryan Pitra may have been injured whenever his helmet came off down here. If we remember that, that may have caused him to be injured. From what I hear, nothing confirmed.
Second down and 13. Blake long pass to Thornton, and it's caught. Great coverage by Will Daniels. I don't know if you can play it any better without getting your hand on the football. And it goes for a 38-yard gain down to the 2.
That's some play by a substitute quarterback. Throws the ball right on the money. Will Daniels had him covered like a blanket. Threw the ball the only place it could be caught.
Tell you what, Leon Thornton, he's a big-time player.
You just got to give him credit.
6'2", 200.
Will was all over that thing, and he just ripped it out of his hands for the reception.
First and goal, Montini at the Geneseo 2-yard line, 4 minutes to play in the third. 38-7 Broncos. Blake to run to his right, or run to his left, I'm sorry. Gets into the end zone, scores the touchdown as the ball is stripped away, but he crossed the plane of the goal line, and it's a Montini touchdown.
And now we talk about this is when you're playing for pride. You're playing for that name on the front of your shirt. You're playing for Geneseo, and you're playing for all these fans that made it out here and all the ones that have watched you all season long.
That'll bring out the field goal team for Montini. little tough to swallow, but
it is. Just because of the success this group has seen all year and all the great things that they have done. Being one of the smallest schools in the entire Class 5A region.
Extra point is on its way and good. Makes the score 45-7 with under 4 minutes to play in the third quarter.
This game doesn't seem to be moving along very quickly here. 3 minutes and 49 seconds left to go here in the third quarter, and it's 45-7. Doesn't appear to be any let up here. The Leafs, as you mentioned, you know, they're going to get the football back. You know they're going to go out there and play as hard as they can play. The fans are going to cheer for them, everything they do.
It's what makes this town and this community and this football program so great.
You know, these seniors have lived up to that.
Have they ever? Sometimes it's hard. We talk about coming after a state championship run, you know, a state championship game, and to mimic that sometimes. It's expected sometimes, and it's hard, but these guys have lived up to it. My goodness, if they have quite the team this year. A lot of fun guys, too.
Talked about back-to-back 12-game win seasons for Geneseo. You had to go back to 92-93 to see the last time that happened.
Yeah, something's going right over there in Geneseo, as you talk about. Anytime you can get 12 wins in the year, it's very, very good season.
Well, it's time for Joey Medina to catch the ball at the 10. He comes back to the 20, the 25, the 30. Medina pops out to the outside and brings it back to the 34-yard line.
Had a nice head of steam. Looked like a break one more, and he might get some more grass out there, but at the 33-yard line, the Leafs get the start. They have not been successful on the backward pass. The lateral has almost bit him once and did bite him the second time.
Drew Himmelman has not caught a pass yet today until
Jinx.
Off his hands.
Oh, my. It looked like
Rust to Himmelman.
It looked like he got his head ripped off, but there are no flags. It must have been clean.
Hard part for Drew. Go ahead.
Had the ball in his hands, and he got ripped hard.
Hard part for Drew, as we talk about, is he's such a big target out there. He's easy to find for these defenders, and he had about 2 or 3 guys on him. As soon as he caught that ball, someone was hitting him right where he caught it in the hands.
Lane Akery lines up at the fullback position along with Medina in the backfield. Long toss to Joey. Trying to get outside, and not much blocking out there for Joey Medina.
And that flip was low. Medina did well just getting the football. Cost him a couple steps, and it caused him kind of took away his opportunity to get outside on that play. Picked up about 3.
3rd and 7 from the Geneseo 37-yard line. 3 minutes and 10 seconds to play in the third quarter.
Against this football team, 7's a lot of yardage.
Tight formation. Rusk rolls to his left. He's got Shanowski open, and Jordan trying to make a one-handed grab. Just could not come up with it. And Jordan got hit afterwards, and he's down on the turf.
He's popping up.
He's all right.
Seems like Jordan just a little frustrated. You know, sometimes you see those just compose himself. He's ready to go.
Incomplete pass on 4th and 7. Geneseo doesn't look like they're going to be punting the football.
Well, it's the third quarter. 3 minutes left to go here in the third quarter. It's not a good thing to give them the football in any territory, but it doesn't seem to matter where you give it to them.
Right.
They move the ball on the field, so at least almost have to go for something here.
That is the scary part, is how this offense moves. You just gotta work with this offensive group.
So they'll go for it on 4th and 7. Geneseo from their own 37-yard line. Rusk looks to his left. Wow, hands to the face by the defensive lineman from Montini. No call there. Lofts it up, and it is incomplete as about 3 defenders converge on Jordan Shanowski. Well, there was they'd call that in the NFL. I know that. Geneseo will turn the ball over to Montini at their own 37. Another Montini score, and we'll get into a running clock.
That's just a jump ball down there, and there's a lot of contact. You know, I don't know exactly how you call that play, but Montini has taken Geneseo completely out of their game. they've had to do things that they haven't had to do all year long. And, you know, it's just, you got to give credit to Montini. The Leafs are just not able to play their game.
No, we just don't match up with their talent.
Their quickness, their speed.
Right.
Yep, it's just very tough situation here.
Ball is fumbled on the handoff and then picked up by Blake. And again, the ball bouncing Montini's way today.
Justin Blake is a junior out there, and we kind of questioned him whenever Norgal went down, but it looks good in the future. Again, some of those timing things are off, but that bullet he threw downfield was quite the throw.
Looks like he's part of the reload for next year.
Second down and 12, and it's Blake running up the right side, first down run to the Geneseo 25.
He might be the better running quarterback of the two.
Wow, he had a lot of speed.
Really quick, a lot of quickness. Once again, the Leafs are just having a hard time catching up with that kind of quickness.
Three receivers to the left. Tyler Mackey, Devin Haxby, and Jordan Schanowski on the coverage over here. Back to the ground game. Handed off to their tailback. Short run over the 25 to the 23. Second down and 8. 15 seconds. I'm sorry, a minute and 50 to play in the third quarter. Get a quick look at the scoreboard. Maybe wishful thinking.
Well, I heard some things going around on Facebook a little bit. The Leafs didn't take kind to that. The Facebook is created by the devil anyway, I believe. But Montini was saying that after they beat Joliet Catholic, there wasn't any competition until Sacred Heart Griffin, and of course, you know that's great locker room.
There's
fodder.
A hit there. Lane Acree and Jacob Beath.
It's also been said that it ain't bragging if you can back it up, and they certainly they've pretty well proved that they really are a top shelf team.
Well, nobody's been able to do, and that's come in and beat Montini in the playoffs except Sacred Heart Griffin last year. So, I mean,
looks to be some kind of matchup if they get by Peoria next week. I
guess it's the advantages of being able to attract student athletes to your school. So we'll be talking about the Geneseo senior players in the second half. The ball is fumbled again. Geneseo jarring it loose. Lane Acree, Tyler Mackey in on that play. I think Cooper Humphrey's at the bottom of the pile. Yes, I think Cooper might have jarred that ball loose.
Well, what do you know? Leafs come up with a stop here. That's where you play for prime. That's where you don't stop. This team will not stop until the end. And what do you know? They come up with a fourth down and about 12 yards to go.
Might be the last play of this third quarter. 15 seconds and the clock running down.
They're going to want to kick the field goal with the win, so they're going to let it run down.
So Montini ends up scoring 2 touchdowns in this third quarter, and they extend their lead to 45-7 over the Geneseo Green Machine. End of the third quarter.
This TV50 telecast is sponsored in part by Hazelwood Homes, Geneseo Dairy Queen, Eric Henderson and Greg Anderson of Country Financial, Turpins of Geneseo, Geneseo Telephone Company, Central Bank, B&B Lawn Equipment and Cyclery, Snap Fitness, Vandemore Funeral Homes, Holland & Sons, Northside Rexall Drug, Hammond Henry Hospital, ProTech Auto Body, Village Home Stores, Liberty Village, Farmers National Bank. Please patronize these sponsors and let them know you appreciate their support of this TV50 telecast.
Final quarter from Lombard with Zach Mackey and Bob Pettit. I'm Lauren Lemke. Glad to have you along for our broadcast this afternoon in this Class 5A semifinal game with Lombard Montini ahead of Geneseo 45-7. Fourth down coming up for the Broncos in there and bring in their Division I field goal kicker, Mason Weisenhoff.
In addition to feeling like they have to run uphill no matter which direction they're going, the Leafs now have the wind at their face for the fourth quarter, down 45-7. And I'm not sure what the etiquette here is, but 45-7 in the fourth quarter.
This will be a 44-yard field goal. This would be his longest field goal if he makes it of the year. It's on the left hash, and the wind going right to left. This will be a tough kick.
The wind at his back, however.
Kick on its way, and they rough up.
He's got plenty of length.
Weisenhoff. Field goal is no good, but Geneseo gets called for roughing the kicker. So similar to what happened last year's state game.
What a play that was.
So the field goal no good, but penalty will. I don't know if that's an automatic first. Is that a 15-yard penalty?
I believe that's an automatic first down.
4th and 12 on that field goal attempt. First down.
Wow. That one could have been right there. That one they didn't tip like last year.
First down, Montini. Inside the 15 at the Geneseo 14-yard line.
And that's exactly what Montini needed, was another break in this football game.
They line it up. Justin Blake hands it off. Maurer to about the 6-yard line, and Geneseo pushes him back. But it's a game of about 7 on the play. Just the start of the fourth quarter, 11:40 to play. Scores 45-7 Montini.
Can't say enough about this Montini squad. Talk about the speed, versatility. Just got a great group of guys on their hand.
Second down play. Montini looks like they're taking this clock down as far as they can. They snap it. Back to the running game with Maurer. Short run to the 6. 3rd down and 2 for Montini. Well, if Geneseo can stop them here, we'll probably see that field goal unit come back in. You would think.
It's been hard for the Leafs to be able to stop this Montini team, especially with only 3 yards to go. But this is one of those times where you're just playing for yourselves here. You're playing for the pride that you have.
3rd and 2. Geneseo tight on the line of scrimmage. Maurer gets the call. He stumbles forward for the first down to the 2-yard line.
It's going to be 1st and goal. At least they don't have to make a decision whether to kick the field goal or not. 45-7 here with 10 minutes and 25 seconds left to go here, and Leafs are completely outmatched on both sides of the ball today. No other way to put it. It just the speed and the quickness of this, the athleticism of this team has just been phenomenal.
1st and goal now for Montini. They'll try Maurer again, and Jordan Jackson does a great job grabbing him at the ankles and keeping him out of the end zone.
We talked about him during that Belvedere game. We haven't been able to mention it all that much here in this contest, but that's a tall task to ask a sophomore who had no varsity experience to play in that Belvedere game and then to turn around and be thrown into a semifinal football contest.
Building for the future. Obviously, they're looking for him to do great things the next couple of years.
2nd and goal, and right at the 1-yard line for Montini. 9:24 to play in the game. There's a penalty flag thrown.
A lot of movement. Either one of the Leafs jumped, or that's going to be against Montini. That's the second thing wrong they've done today. They had a penalty earlier in the game that cost them a touchdown. They had to kick a field goal.
Right. This will back them up 5
other than
yards
that, they've been pretty close to perfection.
Right there on that line, that got the offensive offense going over the line. Number 73, Grant Pritchard. He's senior out there. He had an article today in one of the papers in the Geneseo area, but he's really stepped up throughout this season and done a great job in the middle of things.
He's one of those players that you see as Montini gets into the end zone for the touchdown to make it 51-7. But he's one of those players that has developed this year into a varsity football player, and one of those guys that's going to be a role model for future players from Geneseo to say, hey, I can do this too, and if I work hard and
a guy who didn't see a lot of playing time last year. He was so close, but this year has really stepped up into his role.
We're going to have the extra point coming up here from Montini, which will be a running clock. But let's talk about the rest of the Geneseo seniors here. Starting, we'll just go down the roster here. Number 2, Cooper Humphreys. Extra points good by Weisenhofer, and it's 52-7, 8:51 to play in the game. Cooper Humphreys, basically a 3-year starter. He got hurt his sophomore year, but he's had a great year in the secondary for Geneseo. Started on defense, got in on some special teams. Greg Russ playing behind Luke Snyder, a 3-year starter. What a phenomenal season he's had throwing the football and running this offense. Again,
Greg has really been spot on this year. He's done a great job stepping in for a 3-year starter.
And Ryan Ganson, senior kicker, great on the kickoffs, extra points, field goals. He had a long of 44 yards at Rochelle. You look at Montini's kicker, his long was 42. So, that's a couple good kickers in this game today between Montini and Geneseo. You want to talk about number 12?
Yeah, Tyler Mackey out there on the defensive side. Tyler's done a good job at being able to be a smart football player and put guys where they need to go defensively, calling out the signals and different things. He's done a good job. Another guy, Tyler didn't see any playing time last year and had to step in, and it was a question mark, but that defensive back secondary has done a good job this year. Despite this score, I still think that this squad has done a good job protecting the Leafs on the pass threats.
Kickoff coming down to Medina. He's in the end zone. It will be a touchback. And Tyler Mackey's going to end his career throwing a touchdown pass on his only pass last year.
That's right.
In Dixon. So
I got to give a shout out to Michael Hogsey who caught that one out there.
I mean, his quarterback rating is through the roof.
1,000. There you go.
Tyler also made it through the season without a broken arm.
Yeah, that was.
He's had a few in his career.
He has a lot of setbacks, but again, he was able to have a great senior season.
Alex Disher, number 16, coming out for football this year. Great job in the secondary. Had a couple interceptions. He was the holder on the extra points and field goals.
Yeah,
ran some offensive end positions, wide out.
Yeah, he just does. He's very football smart too for being his first year. He does a great job at getting after things, and Alex is a guy that sometimes when you make it to a state championship, you get excitement in the school. You get excitement. Guys want to come out, and that's where you got Alex this year. He comes out, and what do you know? He's out there. He's been a huge contributor to this team.
Number 20, Jordan Schnowski, started on defense at that cornerback position. He had a couple interceptions early on. He's been a key part of this defense as far as shutting down the outside run and pass defense, and he's also on special teams.
Yeah, he has. Jordan also being called on now that Ryan Pitcher is out. He's seen some running back experience too. He got some last year, went in the dead time kind of a little bit. Now he's getting some here today. That
brings us to Levi Warren, who lines up to the fullback position, number 25. They'll toss it to Jordan Jackson running to his right, and Jackson has a nice run out past the 25 to the 27. Levi Warren this season, over 130 yards rushing and a touchdown. He came in that Belvedere game when we were depleted on defense and made a couple nice plays too.
Yeah, he did. He was called on in that game and that Rich East game a little bit too.
Lee Penaflor, number 28, was on special teams, and we'll probably see him on the field here shortly too. We also got Josh Beard, number 29, as Geneseo runs the second down and 3 play. Looks like they got a first down out of it.
Josh has been that split out guy running in plays and also a big threat on those special teams. Sometimes we'll call out numbers. He's flying downfield all the time. He's got immense speed.
Ryan Pitra, All-State running back, number 34. An incredible senior season for Ryan, a 3-year starter. Can't say enough about that guy.
Absolutely. You got to think he's going to be a little disappointed on the way it ended, but he's had a great year.
Toss play, Connor Welch. And Welch fights his way out to the 34. He has a 3-yard run as we have 7 minutes and 37 seconds to play in the game. It's Montini 52, Geneseo 7. Lane Akery, number 43, came last year, just took over the fullback position, had a number of games over 100 yards rushing, had a great senior season at fullback and linebacker. One of those key players this season for the Green Machine.
He was part of those three horsemen that we talk about, that running threat that the Leafs had. 3 different guys that were able to run the ball at any point, and he was one of those key guys. He was a guy that stepped up whenever the Leafs really needed it last year in that state championship run.
Yeah, timeout on the field here, stopping the clock with 7:26 to play in the game. And Geneseo with the football, 2nd down and 7. Joey Medina, last season as a junior, had that long touchdown run against Ottawa. I just remember that so well. And Joey, this season as a senior, he just kept coming on and on. He got better as the season went along. Had a big season for Geneseo out of that wingback position.
We talked about him so much on slipping off tackles. It seemed like he was always somehow breaking through, getting through. Even when there wasn't a hole, somehow Joey was finding a hole.
Got the Montini player off to the sideline here, and this is what you get at a 52-7 game. You always hope there's not an injury on either side. You just hope everybody comes out injury-free.
Jordan Jackson with the 2nd down run for Geneseo, has it out to the 39. Paul Kastroff, number 51, backup lineman for Geneseo, and he got some playing time in this season too. He's one of those guys that really contributed to Geneseo, throughout the season, especially on the scout team and in practice too. Good practice player.
Absolutely, those are the guys you need for sure.
3rd down and short for Geneseo at the 39-yard line. Greg Russ still in at quarterback. Hands it off, trying to get the 1st down. Geneseo looks like they've got it. Big rugby scrum going on there at the 44-yard line. They'll move the chains as we go under 6 minutes and 30 seconds to play in the game. Jacob Beath, number 53, starting center, starting linebacker. Another great senior season for Jacob Beath, as far as just what he contributed on both sides of the football.
Yeah, when we talk about Jacob a lot, it's a guy who just really wants it and really goes. He's so passionate about this team, and he had a little bit of a scare there with his knee injury, but you knew that wasn't going to hold him back.
Connor Welch with the ball to the Montini 40-yard line, a 15-yard run for Connor Welch.
That's hard to do too. Sometimes when you look up at the scoreboard, things aren't going your way, but Connor Welch answering whenever his time is called over the left side. Great big run for him.
We're going to jump ahead. Parker Salisbury is on the field here for Geneseo at the tackle position, number 71. He came in on, he played on the offensive line when we had a couple guys get hurt. He also played on defense. We spelled him in next to Grant Pritchard, so he had a great season too.
Yeah, he did. It's all Coach Johnson talks about those injuries. It's the next guy. That's how good you are.
Toss it to Jackson, and Jordan Jackson has a 1st down run for Geneseo down to the 28-yard line of the Broncos.
Guys like that keep this season and make it as special as it is.
62, Zach Shefsky, and 64, Carson Krause, both starting guards for Geneseo. And the reason why, Geneseo had, over 3,000 yards rushing this season in that senior backfield.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations to those guys on a great senior season.
Those were the guys that were playing in a situation like this last year and got their time in under tough conditions, and then got their spots this year and really worked hard.
1st down play will get the football to the 25-yard line. Under 5 minutes to play in the game. Montini has it 52-7 over Geneseo. We're getting down there. Grant Pritchard, we talked about him earlier, number 73, the nose guard. 2 sacks last week against Sycamore. Again, he just seemed to get better and better as the season went on too.
He really did. He started off as a question mark guy too. I already said that he didn't see experience last year very much so, and he was raring to go this year and did a great job at being able to play on the defensive side of the ball.
Connor Welch runs hard to the 21. Geneseo looking at a 3rd down and 4. Drew Himmelman, number 81. He's got basketball season coming up, but what a senior season he had, receiving The football, 5 touchdowns, and on the defensive line, I mean, he had that interception. He returned for a touchdown against LP, I think it was, and just a phenomenal athlete. Drew Himmelman, nice job.
It's going to be fun to watch Drew at the next level and see what sport he chooses, where he goes. He's got a lot of offers that he has and a lot to come. But Drew has been a threat that teams usually don't have to worry about when they come to a Geneseo team, and they've had to worry about a big 6'9", 6'8" guy downfield.
Jordan Jackson sweeping around the right side, lost a couple yards on the play. It'll be 4th down. We've got
Coach Storm was not rooting for a loss here today, but he'll be glad to see him back.
Yeah.
The basketball team misses him.
They've been practicing here for a couple weeks. Adam Smith, number 83, wide receiver, and August Stamp, number 88, also an end for Geneseo. They got some playing time earlier in the season, but again, those are the type of guys that, got some playing time early on, guys that help other players get better in practice. So.
Great teammates.
Love those guys. They're out there every day, fight through the season, just keep battling.
Connor Welch to the left, spins his way close to that 1st down. I think he's got it at the 16-yard line of Montini.
The future looks bright, too, because these Leafs running backs are running really well, especially Welch. He's finding the holes. He's running outside, running hard still, even with the score as it is. And then Jackson, whenever he's called upon, also doing a good job.
Yeah, you get,
Jackson right now, he got hit. I'm not sure he's enjoying this varsity competition right now, but he'll get better. He'll figure it out.
Geneseo driving here 1st and 10. Jackson off the right side to the Montini 13. Again, a continuous clock, so Geneseo's trying to continue to move this ball down, try to get a late touchdown here against the Broncos.
Can't say enough about this Montini team. They've done a great job at bringing in some real talented players, and they've got a lot of talent on this side. They have a bigger area, of course, to choose from than what Geneseo does, but they've still they got a good team on their hands.
August Stamp, wide right on 2nd and 5. Weaving his way through traffic to the 5, into the end zone. Touchdown, Geneseo.
Looks like one of the last times, too, we'll give out a pizza this year.
Levi Warren, senior running back, and let's give that pizza out. 10th caller to Roma Pizza. You win a free large 2-topping pizza. Live broadcast viewers and listeners only. 1 winner per season. Must redeem within 1 week. La Roma Pizza, 944-6171. Levi Warren, 2nd touchdown of the season. Nice run there to find the gap. And
it's like the Leafs are going to go for 2.
Why not? Greg Rusk brings him up to the line. Tight formation. Sam Welch resets on the right side, number 19. Sweep it to Jackson. Can he get to the corner? Turns it upfield. He gets the 2-pointer and makes the score 52-15 with 1:44 to play in the game. The clock will stop as they change possession here.
We've gotten through, got to talk about a lot of these seniors, but it doesn't make it any easier. It's definitely going to be hard on these guys, and what a season they've had, though. It's been a lot of fun, I know, for me and for us all to get to travel around with them, and what a season. 12-1 to end it.
It's just one of those things where the farther you get away, the more you remember. We got to the semifinals. We were 12-1. We had a great season. Your camaraderie with the guys, and all you do as a team, you'll remember the good stuff. It'll sting for a while, though. Today, this bus ride will not be a fun ride home for that group of guys because he put so much into it. Anybody who's on that bus that it doesn't hurt really bad, they didn't put enough into it, and I'm pretty sure there's nobody in that situation. It hurts because you pour so much into it, and it doesn't end the way the way your dreams lead you, but.
These guys, they want it so bad, too, and it's hard.
Yep, they worked hard. They set goals. They set them very high, and they worked their tails off to get there. And, they have no reason to walk off with their heads down, but, it's hard to tell them that when you're in that situation.
Yeah. Because of how good of a team this Montini crew is, too. They're just a phenomenal group.
Ryan Ganson's going to kick off for Geneseo. 24 wins over 2 years for this Geneseo football team. And only 3 losses. Tries to onside kick this and just gets underneath it too much, and the wind blows it out of play. But you look at the 3 losses by this by Geneseo. You know, 2 losses last year. They lost to Sycamore, who went to the 5A semifinals. They lost the championship game to Rochester, and now their 3rd loss is going to be Montini, a team that's going to go back to state for the 6th straight year. They did not lose to anybody.
No.
That was a weak team for sure. So.
Got 3 separate texts. It doesn't make it official, but 3 separate texts saying that Ryan Pitra had to sit out the second half with a concussion. Apparently, he could not pass the concussion test, and you know that's a good thing that's happening. You know, I'm sure it's really disappointing for Ryan, but probably was when the play where he lost his helmet.
Right. And now, you know, now he gets to look forward to his wrestling season, and hopefully they'll see Montini again in the finals this year.
James Pendergast for Montini with a 9-yard run as Geneseo has their reserves in. Parker Salisbury up front. We also see out there for Geneseo on that defensive line is Carter Billier. Minute 10 to play in the game. 52, we'll take 40 points. It says 52-40 on the scoreboard. Now it's back down to 15.
52-40, that'd be a little bit of a different game here.
Taking the knee as Montini decides to take a knee. And Geneseo's going to get in a few more players here in this semifinal game, Class 5A. And all Montini has to do now is take another knee, and that will end the contest.
Down to 30 seconds.
Looking, see if we have any of those score updates. I can't seem to find anything quite yet.
Montini again takes the kneel down. And Geneseo's going to end their season here in a Class 5A semifinal loss to Montini. The final score is 52-15. Geneseo finishes the year at 12-1. Montini moves on to the state final game next Saturday as they improve to 10-3 overall, and will play for a state title for the 5th time in the last 6 years.
Well, Montini had 3 losses this year so far, but those had to be 3 really good football teams because they sure were very good today. But the Leafs, again, you know, they're going to have to walk out of here with their heads up. You know, just be as strong as they can be, and face the fact that they ran into a fast, quick, athletic football team today. And one day they'll look back and realize this was a phenomenal season and that they really did work hard.
Got to make sure, too, that we give credit to these fans that made it out, that followed these guys. That's what makes it special, and that's what gets, I know as a player, that's what, you know, really gets you going when you got the support that the Leafs do.
Bob Pettit and Zach Mackey, thank you for your contribution today. Geneseo falls to Montini 52-15. We also like to thank Ron Hartman and Geneseo Communications for providing ITV 50's internet streaming. Kim Kennan, who's back at the WGRG FM studio, our statistician Joe Thomas, technical coordinator Keith Kennett. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch up with you next season. Montini beats Geneseo 52-15. So long.